You need cooling, baby, I'm not fooling. I'm gonna send you back to schooling. Way down inside, honey, you need it. I'm gonna give you my love. I'm gonna give you my love.
Hello everyone and welcome to the pre-race show for the second annual KKCS Daytona 500. And in just a few short minutes, 54 of the nation's best will get into their cars and attempt to survive all 10 laps to win the Daytona 500. The 500 is one of the most prestigious races in motorsports, and some of the drivers in today's field would rather win this race than win the championship. Speaking of winning, let's talk about Ty Gibbs and Daniel Suarez. Ty Gibbs a year ago won the first Daytona 500 in KKCS history, and today he's hoping to have luck on his side to help him defend his Daytona 500 championship title. And then a few months later, the KKCX came back to Daytona to end the regular season, and after 25 long laps, Daniel Suarez was able to barely beat Carson Hocevar and win the Coke 400. Be sure to watch out for these drivers today to see if they can win in Daytona again. Now, back up to KKCS in the booth.
Hello and welcome to the Daytona 500 for Season 2. And I want to give a big thank you to Milk for doing the pre-race show info. Let's get straight into your ones to watch. Todd Gilliland, he's moving from the 38 to the 34. You've Corey LaJoie in the 01, part-time at Rickler Racing this season. Then you've Shane Van Gisbergen, just changed numbers to the 88 at Trackhouse. And you've Josh Berry, who moved to the 21 car at Wood Brothers after last season, with Stuart Haas Racing closing down. And Noah Gregson, who moved into the 4 at Front Row Motorsports after Stuart Haas Racing closed down. And then Junior Motorsports making their first Cup start with Justin Allgaier in the 40. Then you have Nathan Maudez in the 39 at Maudez Racing for their first ever race and full season. And Martin Truex Jr., he's retiring. The former season defending champion is retiring, as Michael McDowell is going to move to the 71, moving out of the 34. And Jamie McMurray in the 44. It's a new team with a new charter. And then Cole Custer, the last Haas charter, in the 41. Then Chase Briscoe got an upgrade to the 19 car, replacing Martin Truex Jr., the season champion. And then you have Ryan Preece in the 60, who moved from the 41 now to the 60 car with teammates with Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher. And then you have Ty Dillon in the 10, his rookie season, driving a third car for Colleague. And then Ty Gibbs is the defending 500 champion. We'll have to see what he can do. And Matt Benedetto moved from the 18 to the 29 after a disappointing season. Then you have Chandler Smith replacing Hemrick, who was a rookie, and now himself a rookie replacing him. And then you have Zane Smith, who moved from the 71 to the 38, hoping to have a better season than last year. And Daniel Suarez, who won the second Daytona race that we had here last year. And then you have Helio Castroneves in the 91 at Trackhouse, being that, I believe, 5th car today. And you have Timmy Hill full-time for Garage 66. He's going to be a rookie in that 66 car. Then Eric Amarola part-time at Haas, being the second car for the teammate to Cole Custer. Then you have Ryan Truex driving the 18 part-time this year, though. Then you have the 62 at Austin Hill starting in 48th. And then Corey Heim in 49th. They're starting for the 67 in the 67 for 2311. Then you have Lane Riggs in the 36th. And you have Harrison Burton in the 51 now, replacing Cody Ware. And Trackhouse Racing phenom Connor Zilic in the 87. He had issues in practices. We're going to get right into your starting lineup. Row 1 is Todd Gillen and Bubba Wallace. In row 2 is Alex Bowman and Austin Cindric. In row 3, it's Corey LaJoie and Austin Dillon. And row 4, it's Shane Van Gisbergen and Josh Berry. In row 5, it's Joey Logano and Denny Hamster. And row 6, it's Noah Gregson and Eric Jones. In row 7, you have Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch. And in row 8, you have Justin Allgaier and AJ Allmendinger. Then in row 9, you have William Byron and Brad Keselowski. And row 10, you have Nathan Maudez and Martin Truex Jr. In row 11, you have Michael McDowell and Carson Hocevar, teammates. And then in row 12, you have Jamie McMurray and Chris Buescher. In row 15, you have Tyler Reddick and Chase Elliott. And row 16, you have Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. In row 19, you have Matt Benedetto and Jimmy Johnson. And in row 20, you have Justin Haley and Chandler Smith. In row 21, you have Zane Smith and Daniel Suarez. And in row 22, you have Timmy Hill and someone else. And in row 25, you have Corey Heim and Lane Riggs. And in row 26, you have Connor Zilich and Harrison Burton. Now let's get into your track facts. It's 2.5 miles long. It's in Daytona Beach. It's built in 1958. It's some intense pack racing. Let's get green flag racing in Daytona as Todd Gillen and Bubba Wallace lead them down into the first corner. Todd Gillen's going to get clear on the backstretch with Alex Bowman trying to push clear. Now Gillen's going to go up the outside with Bowman coming in to lead the first lap with Corey LaJoie behind him. But Gillen's not going to let that happen as Chandler Smith's making a run on the outside. There he's going to take the lead, drop down with Ryan Preece in front of Alex Bowman now. Big crash. Spin. No crash, no caution. We keep going. Corey LaJoie spun there. Ryan Preece leads. Mottez leading the outside lane. He's going to falter back as Bowman comes up to the outside. No! Huge crash this time. We have a big crash. Red flag is out.
AJ Allmendinger won the halfway bonus, and he's currently the points leader as a result. Allmendinger does have a small tire rub on the left rear, but the team is deciding to stay out to keep the lead. It's a huge risk, but the reward is even greater with a race win on the line for the AJ Allmendinger machine.
Chandler Smith, the young rookie, is in his first race and is currently running second and will be starting next to his veteran teammate, AJ Allmendinger. Smith is trying to make a name for himself in the Kit Kat Cup Series by winning the Daytona 500. We'll have to wait and see what he can do.
Thank you to Firelinks and Cool Style for those reports. Now let's look at the damage. Lots of cars involved in this one. You can see Justin Allgaier, Noah Gregson, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Carson Hocevar. Let's take a look at some replays. I can't even really see what happened. I think Bowman just came down in front of the 60. There's Mottez was giving a push, may have pushed at the wrong time. And I'm not fully sure why he came back up the track instead of going back down into Preece. But I don't know, definitely a weird crash there. So we're going to get rolling off and back to the green flag. Green flag is back in the air for colleague teammates AJ Allmendinger and Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith's going to get a massive push from Kaz Gralla going down the backstretch as Bubba's going to get loose and into the wall. Allmendinger's around. What a huge crash. I was not ready for that. What a massive crash, and a bunch of fast cars are involved. A lot of these people, not even just up front, but throughout the entire pack are involved here. Look at all of these drivers, and let's take a look at the replays there. See, Chandler Smith, I think, is the only guy ahead of it to get away, and then you have Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski, and John Hunter Nemechek get through it. With a lot of guys involved here. We'll take a look at that here in a second. Definitely a lot of fast cars. AJ Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs, previous winner. Daniel Suarez, another previous winner involved. As we're going to get right back to green flag racing. Chandler Smith and Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell is going to get out to the lead now. He's leaving Nemechek. Now it's him and Elliott. Now Elliott, another 4 wide. Stenhouse is around with Zilich and Blaney, the 3 wide coming to the flag. It's going to be Chase Elliott, I think. It's between him and Bell. I can't tell. Let's take a look at the replay. A lot happened here. They go 4 wide. Stenhouse goes around. And now Blaney comes up with BJ McLeod behind him. A couple guys spin. And I think, yes, it is Chase Elliott who is going to win the Daytona 500. Chase Elliott is your winner. His first career win comes at the best time. As we look at your point standings here, as we can see, you see there Chandler Smith is actually ahead because he led the most laps. And got a lot of points from that. You can see Chase Elliott race winners in second, Christopher Bell in third, Ryan Blaney fourth. Looking more down towards that cutoff, you have William Byron just above with Keselowski right below. And let's get your finishing results here. Mottez getting 7th in his first race, BJ McLeod getting 6th, his best result. Chandler Smith comes home 5th here today. Taking a look at this next row, Corey Heim comes home 20th, and William Byron comes home 19th. Then we have all these guys in red did not finish the race. Connor Zilich, who crashed with Stenhouse, just barely made it to the finish line in 21st, with Stenhouse getting 22nd. Gene McMurray comes home 40th. Allmendinger with a good running comes home 35th. And you have a lot of good cars back here. They're going to have a lot of work to do in the next coming weeks to make back some points. And Todd Gillen, your pole sitter, finishing 50th, getting no points from today. Martin Truex Jr. comes home 46th here. And then you look at your last four: Austin, Dillon, Zane Smith, Justin Allgaier, and Noah Gregson, all getting no points from each other. And that is it, everybody. Thank you for watching the Daytona 500 for Season 2, and I'll see you next week for the next race at the Oregon Road Course. We went there last year after the 500, and we're going back this year. Thank you all for watching.